Hello. It's Nadia Black with the Black Magic Underground. How are you? Oh my god, I am so excited for tonight. Let me try that again. I am so excited for tonight's live stream. We are going to talk all about sex magic, the sacred art and science of sacred sexuality. And we're doing something a little bit different for tonight. We are live streaming both on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm gonna try, we've got two separate computers going, and I'm gonna try to look at both and give you all equal attention. This is our first time live streaming to more than one location. I feel so fancy with two monitors in front of me. If you are joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Nadia Black, and I'm the co-creator of the Black Magic Underground, where we are trying to change the world with magic. And tonight we are going to talk all about sex magic, the art and science of sacred sexuality. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. You are in the right place. If you are here to explore alternative healing paths, magic, sacredness, spirituality, personal development, if you're a visionary, if you are a creative disruptor, welcome. You have found your people. I am so excited to have you here. And my co-creator tonight, who you're only going to get to hear them a little bit later, is Nada Brahmananda, and they are going to be doing our sound ceremony, our sex magic sound ceremony, a little later in this evening. So while we wait for a couple more people to join us for this live stream, I want to offer you the opportunity to grab some headphones, because the sound that is going to come through is best heard in your headphones. And grab something comfortable to sit on, or make sure you have a place where you can just, for 10 to 15 minutes, go into a sacred space so you can explore the magic of what we are talking about tonight. So get those headphones, grab some water, make yourself at home. We're gonna be here together for around 45 minutes to an hour talking all about sex magic. So here's the flow of tonight's live stream, which we're gonna do every Thursday. So that's the plan moving forward. Next week, we're going to talk all about embodying the dark goddess. So if you haven't already, be sure to go to blackmagicunderground.com and sign up for updates. blackmagicunderground.com. It's exactly how it sounds. Everything is spelled just how you think it would be. So blackmagicunderground.com, and sign up for those so that you get notified whenever we go live. I've been having some weird email glitches, so I haven't been able to email, but moving forward, that's all been fixed. So you'll get notified and all of that good stuff. Next week, we're going to talk all about embodying the dark goddess. The week after is going to be kink as a spiritual practice. So if you're interested in those topics, be sure to go to blackmagicunderground.com and sign up to be notified. Hello and welcome everybody who's joining us. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting to see people joining the live stream. So tonight we're going to talk all about sex magic, the art and science of sacred sexuality. And what I'd like to do when we first talk about this is talk about what sex magic is and what sex magic isn't. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is sex magic is not all about having better orgasms, about having better sex. It's not about manifesting your dream car with your orgasms. Although, when you really learn sex magic, you're going to be able to do all of those things and more. Your sex will improve. You'll get for those who have penises, you'll get to stay harder longer. You're going to get wetter and just have deeper sexual, sensual experiences. But that is not the intention of sex magic. Sex magic is an incredibly potent, powerful energy that you can use to heal deep wounds without having to dig up your past and keep peeling off layers of old wounding. It's a way to come into resonance with your authentic expression and your authentic energetic vibration. It's a way to reconnect to the divine in beautifully sacred ways. And it is a way to change the world. And we start out at the Black Magic Underground on Sex Magic Journeys talking about solo sex magic. This is sex magic that you can do with yourself, without a partner, because in order to really understand the potency of sex magic, it's really important to understand the energy that is flowing through you. And the best way to do that is through your solo sex magic practice. So that is the foundation of tonight's live stream, workshop, masterclass, whatever you want to call this. And I am excited to talk about 3 areas before we jump into the ceremony. We're going to talk about the mystery of the snakes. We're going to talk about sacred union, and we're going to talk about your orgasmic power. So let's all just take a deep breath and come into this moment together. Because what's really beautiful when we gather together, there is a potent energetic field that is created. And I just want you to tap into that in this moment, because every single time we do these live streams, more and more and more people join us. With every workshop, more and more people sign up and join in. So this field is only getting stronger. And I just want you to take a second to just bask in the glow of this energy. Recenter yourself, come into this moment, and give yourself the time to explore your own creative growth spiritual journey, right? This time is yours. You are here for a reason, and I'm so excited that you're here. So sex magic is an ancient healing practice. This isn't something that some woo-woo person made up a few years ago and started teaching. It actually has roots in almost every ancient philosophy and spiritual tradition. The 2 that I'm going to talk about the most, because it's what I'm most familiar with, is ancient Egyptian sex magic that was taught and shared within the mystery schools in ancient Babylon and ancient Egypt, and the Vedic traditions of Kundalini, Tantra, that sort of thing. And turns out they all say the same thing, that we have this potent, powerful, creative energy running through us. Our sex magic, the power of our orgasms, is literally the creative energy that expands the universe in every way. And it doesn't just run through humans, it also runs through every single animal and plant on this planet. And it is how our universe and this material world expands, and we get more and more beautiful manifestations and creations. And it all has to do with this mysterious snake energy that runs through us. So within each one of us, we have these potent snakes that sit at the base of our spine that for many of you might be laying a little bit dormant. And they have been begging to come alive, which is why you have been led to this workshop today. Now, for some of you, maybe you have explored sex magic before and you've awakened those snakes, whether or not you know it. And that is what tonight's workshop is going to focus on, is bringing power and energy back to those snakes so that you can explore this magic within you, the creative power within you, and you can start to get to know your own creative orgasmic power. And that's where we're gonna stop this. So we're not gonna move into rituals or anything like that. We're gonna really just get to know these snakes. So I'm gonna give you a rundown of sex magic and the power of these snakes within you. So like I said, they sit at the base of your spine, sort of in your pelvis, and there are 2 of them. There is a solar snake and a lunar snake. and they kind of often use this as my teaching tool, but I'm having a little trouble with the angle that we set this up at. So here's one side of the snakes. This is our lunar snake, and it runs up through our chakra system. Okay, so we have two of those. Our right side is our solar snake, and the left side is our lunar snake. And often these are seen as bright yellow and black snakes. So the solar is bright yellow, just like the sun. I know, shocker. And the lunar snake is, oh, you guessed it, black. And those are the snake energies that run through us. Now you're gonna notice that I am not using terms like masculine and feminine, and that is because I personally have done a lot of work around that, and I don't identify as a girl or a boy. I just am this big ball of rainbow energy, and so I try to use non-gender specific language. So if you're used to hearing this as the masculine and the feminine snake, we're going to use terms like solar and lunar because it's just more inclusive and more representative of my own experience, which is what I am teaching from. And so we have these two snakes that are within us, and they are the carriers of the energy that is within us. Now, another way to think of this is we have expanded light energy and contracted dark energy. And contracted, don't think of that as being a negative thing. It just, that's how energy expands. Energy kind of moves like this. So we have expansion, contraction, and that's just how energy moves throughout the universe. So don't think of contracted as like this bad thing. It's just a part of the flow of the energy. So however you want to talk about these snakes, that's how you can talk about it. So we have these energies running through our bodies, and they cycle together in a caduceus around our chakra system, around our spine, and they reach into our heads. And in Egyptian traditions, they are cobras, and that's what I like to think of them as, because it's just this like really fun little thing that they've got these little hoods. So our cobras come to the top of our head, they meet, and when they are activated and fully activated, they then produce a nectar that then drips into a goblet that sits at our pineal gland and then produces a liquid that actually drains into our nasal passage that tastes a little bit like ocean water. Like ocean, you know that when you go into the ocean and that smell, it's like really salty air, it tastes a lot like that. And that is the physical kind of flow of this energy body that we have. And that is how we can tell that what we're doing in our creative brains and our imaginative parts of our brains as we envision these snakes moving through us, it actually creates a physiological response in our body to create this liquid that then you can taste it. Now, I will say this is a very advanced practice of sex magic. You may or may not experience the release of the liquid for weeks, months, years, and maybe you might never experience. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. But I mention that release because it's very clear that our energy and what we're doing with the manipulation of this energy is actually creating a physical response in our body. So this is a very potent, powerful practice that we are working with. We are working with the source of all creative energy. And this is why the systems that we want to squash our sexual energy. It is why we are taught that sex is bad and wrong and that we shouldn't do it unless we are here to procreate. At least this was my experience growing up in the Midwest in a fundamentalist Christian family, right? I was taught that sex was bad and wrong and I was going to hell because I enjoyed it. And the reason that is being spread, and that, you know, I don't know if you've seen the Facebook Live of the lady on the microphone going one margarita and she's gonna spread her legs, riffing on the Megan Thee Stallion song and preaching abstinence only. It's because the energy within us is so potent and so powerful that, you know, if we tap into the energy that is within us and we really connect to that power and start using it to create the life that we truly desire, what's gonna happen? The systems of power are going to start to crumble. Remember, we're trying to take over the world with magic here. So this is how we do it. So that is why I want to teach this, because it is incredibly potent energy to start working with. And I want to teach it to you so that you can start using it and change your life and to heal old wounds, because we can tap into this energy, bypass our thinking brain, and get right into what matters, and that is the resonance in which we vibrate. So in a healing journey, in your personal growth path, and in any spiritual path and awakening that you are on, it does not matter what tradition you are, they will all, when you get back to the root of it, they all basically say the same thing. We are working on getting into resonance with source energy. And we all come into this world with our own vibrational frequency that is a part of the greater frequency of that source energy. Call it God, call it spirit, call it Shakti, call it whatever you want to call it George for all I care. But it is the source from which all energy comes. And when you can tap into your own energetic frequency, because we all vibrate at a different frequency, we all carry our own unique flavor of magic, and it is all part of that same ripple, right? So when you tap into your own authentic expression, your own authentic vibrational frequency, you begin to vibrate in resonance with source energy. And when you're vibrating in resonance with source energy, we cut through all of the conditioning, all that we have been taught and trained to think about who we are and how the world is set up. And we begin to cut through that illusion, get behind the veil, and start to live from a more expansive, creative place. And sex magic is so potent and powerful because you can cut through the mental thinking, the monkey brain or the lizard brain, and you can get right into the source of your power, that is your vibrational frequency. And through sex magic, you can clear the pipes of all of the junk that has been put there since you were a child about what you've been told you are, who you've been told you're supposed to be, the expectations that have been placed on you by others, and you can clear that out and get closer to resonance with your authentic vibration, which is the goal of every single personal growth journey, every single spiritual tradition. All of it comes back to vibrating more fully with your authentic self. And we can use our snakes to do that. So when you tap into the power of the snakes that are within you and you learn how to move that energy up around your spine, around your chakras, and expand that creative energy with the power of your orgasm, you can do years of healing without ever having to dig up old wounds and all of that, because it just clears your system. And that's why I'm so excited about the sound healing ceremony that we're going to do here in a few minutes, because you're going to get a taste of this firsthand. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is incredibly powerful. So the mystery of the snakes is just that. So we have these snakes within us that dance and move up through our bodies in a caduceus, and they carry that energy through into our crown chakra until it is released. And the release of that energy is the explosion of resonance. Really, it is when your body, your mind, your energy, and your soul all vibrate together as one to create what it is that you desire to see in the world. It is that moment when all of those powerful systems come together to expand more fully into your most authentic expression. Now, for a lot of people who have done sex magic before, this is where you were taught to hold a thought in your brain, get yourself off, and keep holding that thought, and when you orgasm, that's manifestation. That's not wrong. There's just a next level to it, and that's what we're talking about. So as you start to explore sex magic, I want you to really start to think about your truest desires. What do you really, really, really want? Not what you've been taught that you should want, not what you've been conditioned to want, not what the TV tells you you want, but what do you truly desire? And how do you desire to feel? And when you're working with your sex magic, keep that in mind. So instead of keeping a house or a car or a new job, keep in mind who you are becoming. Who do you desire to be, and how do you desire to feel, and what life do you desire to have? And then use this potent, powerful magic to manifest that into reality. And you're going to be really shocked at what ends up coming into your life, because it might not be what you think you want, but it turns out it's exactly what you desired, okay? So as we move into this ceremony that we're going to do tonight, I want you to start playing with your snakes. That's the purpose of tonight's workshop. We're just going to start playing with our snakes. We're going to start to see what they feel like, because if you have that's not quite the word I want to use, but if your energy, if your power has been laying dormant or forgotten or ignored over the years, it's time to start waking up that power source within you. And this is a gentle process that I want you to have with yourself. And I want you to really start to explore these snakes, because what I have found doing this workshop and talking to lots of people about this experience is that oftentimes a few different scenarios start to happen. The first one is that you can't feel the snakes. That energy just seems to be not there. Or maybe they feel like they're just out of reach. Maybe it feels like there's nothing there, like that power source just isn't waking up. Sometimes it can feel like one snake is bigger than the other, more powerful or stronger than the other, and the other is weak and just not really having as much power as the other one. So I want you to play with these snakes, and for today, what we're going to do is we're just going to explore them. You don't need to work on changing them or shifting them, just getting to know them, just sort of awakening to their presence is what we're going to do today. But before we do that, I do want to talk about sacred union. So sacred union is the idea that 1 + 1 = infinity. And sacred union is how everything in this universe is created. It's when one comes together with another and then creates a new creation. And it is through that pattern that every single thing in our manifested physical reality comes to be. And with solo sex magic, we're using that power to that formula 1 + 1 = infinity, where you are coming into connection and sacred union with the source within you to tap into that connected vibration in order to create something new. And like I said earlier, it's that explosion that comes out of the top of our head, out of our crown chakra, that then creates what it is that we desire. Okay, so we are being number one, source energy that lays within us. And I point to my heart when I say that, because that is that source. And I actually just read today that science has discovered and proven that our hearts have its own mind, like its own creative ability, which anybody who's been on a sacred spiritual journey just inherently knows this, but it's fun to know that science has shown that as well. So I'm pointing to my heart when I say this, because that is the house where our sacred source energy resides. So we want to start listening more to our heart. We want to start connecting into that heart center, bypassing our thinky brain and getting into source. So sacred union in the case of solo sex magic is us plus source equals creation of something bigger than ourselves, okay? And that is the magic that we're playing with when we tap into our snakes. So somebody just added, I'm a little late. How does one play with their snakes? All right, let's talk about it, because here in just a few minutes, we're going to turn on this sound transmission and you're going to get to experience what I'm talking about. So how do you do that? So there are infinite ways to do this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of a couple different ways that you can do this. So the first one is just to take your hands and lay them on your root chakra, or on your pelvis, or even on your sex organs. So lay them where you want to awaken this energy, and just breathe and send all of your awareness into your root, so that you can start to feel that energy building up within you. You can feel that energy start to come forth, because where your awareness grows, your energy, where your awareness goes, your energy flows. And so we're sending our awareness into our pelvis, because that is where the snakes start out, and then they go up the spine into our head, and they start to come to our pineal gland there. Now, for a lot of you, they're not going to make it that far, because this is your first time playing with them, and they might just kind of be dancing around in your pelvis, and that's perfect. And like I said earlier, for some of you, you might not even feel them at all, and your practice is going to be waking those snakes up, getting their juju mojo energy going. And for others, you're gonna feel them dance, and I've had people say that their snakes have multiplied and that they've just watched this beautiful dance take place. So we're not judging, we're not changing, we're just becoming aware of where they are currently, because we have to know our starting point in order to start working with it. So this is an opportunity to just bring your awareness into how your snakes are right here in this moment. So one of those ways, put your hands on your pelvis and just feel that energy, and just breathe. Breathe into that space. Another way to do this is to use your creative imagination to start to imagine the snakes dancing up around your spine, and that beautiful, they kind of dance like this is really, well, yeah. It's more like this, but I can't make my hands do that. So it's like this, right? So they dance around your spine and come up. So you can use your creative imagination, because our imaginations are incredibly powerful, and you can just watch them dance and see where they get stuck, see where there are blocks, and just notice the size, the colors, how maybe one resonates higher than the other. And you're just, again, becoming aware of how they move through your body. Now, the cool thing is, the music is going to do 99.9% of the work, because Nada is the most powerful sound musician I have ever met. And the music that they bring through these transmissions is intended to help align you to source energy, get you closer into resonance, but it's also going to bring up in you where you're stuck, where the energy is feeling thick, where it might be blocked. It's going to show you where you are out of resonance, so that we can begin to bring you into resonance. So for some of you, this might be a little bit uncomfortable. With our last workshop, we had some people say, I had to get up and I had to move around. It got really intense. And if that's the case, that's okay, right? You're just bringing your awareness into the snakes within you, okay? So just notice, let the music dance within you and see what happens, all right? And play with it. So take a few seconds while we get the audio set up, Like I said earlier, grab some headphones. This is going to be far more potent and powerful if you have some headphones. We're going to be here together in this sound ceremony about 11 minutes. I will talk you into a state as the music ramps up, and then it's just going to play. Dance with the snakes, and then I will bring you back into this moment and we're going to chat some more, okay? So go ahead, grab your headphones, get into a comfortable position while we transition into that, okay? All right. This is not as arm. This is as much of an appearance as they tend to make on these live streams. There are. Okay, enjoy the transmission. you with the out breath. Just let it out. Let's breathe together 3 more times. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, just watch everything that came up for you bubble to the surface. Hold that breath. Breathe in a little bit more, and release. Let it all go. And on this final breath, as you exhale, release with whatever sound you need to make to let it go. Breathe in and hold and release. And let it go. And welcome back. Bring yourself back into this space, back into this present moment, and share in the comments how that felt for you. Were you able to feel your snakes? Were you able to feel the energy, or did they feel a little just out of reach? Or maybe, there was sort of a void or a blockage. I'd love for you, if you feel comfortable sharing that, to just share in the chat what that experience was like for you. And like I said, this is simply the first step to working with sex magic, and it's getting to know the power of your creative energy and using the snakes to move that energy up through your body. Now, of course, there are more steps to this, and you can continue to go deeper and deeper with this as you work in your own practice. Here, I'm just gonna pull up the comments here and recognizing that there is a delay, so what I know is happening isn't what you know is happening. So thank you, everybody, for joining in and sharing your thoughts with us in the chat. So how did that feel for you? And I want to invite you to continue doing this exploration, continue to tap into your orgasmic power. And then the next step is to move this into a ritual and to move this into a daily practice, because this is part of your spiritual practice, your personal growth practice. And as you work with the snakes more and more, as you work with that potent, powerful, creative energy, you are clearing out any old blocked energy that no longer serves you, so that you can tap into your own creative power and come into resonance with your authentic expression, with your authentic vibration, which then becomes resonant with source energy. And imagine how extraordinary the world would be if we were all vibrating at our most vibrant, aligned energy, if we were all vibrating in resonance with spirit. How amazing would the world be, right? Like, this is why I say that the Black Magic Underground is here to change the world with magic, because you know that it is possible, right? When you start to experience resonance with, like, in your own energetic experience, then you can start to expand that and experience resonance and sacred union with other beings, and start to create the world that you desire to see, to create, the experiences that you want. And I just love this. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your experiences. So we have people who felt them toward the end in their lower backs. And, is celibacy a part of sex magic? Oh, that's a really good question. It can be. I'm actually going through a period in my own life where I just had the realization this morning. I was like, I really want to harness all of this energy for my own expression at the moment, and I'm not in a place right now where I feel like I want to share it in that union with others, and I want to put all of that energy toward creating more with the Black Magic Underground and watching that explode. So celibacy can be a part of it, but I do not practice a path of renunciation, and part of the path of renunciation is giving up things like sex. So I also really enjoy sex, and I teach kink classes, and I teach about sex magic. So we go through these journeys and these parts of our lives where sometimes we feel more called to connection and sex than other times where we need to pull back and reserve that energy for ourselves. So celibacy can be part of the journey, but it doesn't have to be the journey. So it's a really good question. Oh my gosh, look at all these comments. Oh, sorry. I'm like a giddy little schoolgirl. So let's see. Oh, weird question. Did the snakes seem more like Chinese dragons? If that is your experience, then absolutely. So I actually experience my snakes different depending on how I want to play with them. So if Chinese dragons are what you're experiencing, that is beautiful. Rainbow serpents are another one that come through. So however your snakes look, this is your authentic expression. That's why we don't subscribe to any like standard path, because your creative magic is your creative magic, and how that shows up in your experience is perfect and beautiful. So if you want to experience them as snakes or dragons or whatever it feels like for you, you're doing it perfectly. Keep playing with them. And what might also happen is they can change forms as you begin working with them, as you begin healing, as you begin undoing some of the blocks that are there in your system. They can shift and change. So be aware of that and just watch that fun experience happen. Ooh, okay. Yeah, somebody asked me if there could be more than two. I had a really weird experience. Yes. So, as I said, this is I gave you the baseline how sex magic and these snakes work, but the really cool thing, and you are not the only one to have that experience in these ceremonies. So I've had other people explain to me that they had multiple snakes kind of come up, and then as they started working with those snakes more, some of the snakes merged. They realized some of the snakes weren't their own, and they released. And then they experienced like one giant snake coming up as kind of a hood around them as a protector for this experience. So all of this is part of the magic that you're experiencing, and you're just getting to know your own energetic expression. So awesome question, awesome experience. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay, so for some people, they made their existence, they could feel them and received a visualization of them. That's beautiful, that's amazing. Waves through my whole body, it was amazing. Yeah, that's a very common experience with the sound healing transition. Those waves are your energetic frequency. So that wave is especially if you can kind of feel it, you know, and that's like moving through you, and those waves can move the energy through you, and then let it dance and let it play through you. Notice where it gets stuck. Notice where it feels more expanded. Notice where it feels a little more contracted. That is beautiful for you. Yes. Oh, and okay, yeah. So celibacy, that seems to be a question and like something that's coming up in the chat here. So if that is what you were called to, so your spiritual path is your spiritual path, and however you decide to go down that path is perfect. There is no one way to do this, right? We can tap into spiritual traditions from all around the world to see how other people have done it. We can tap into ancient wisdom, but at the end of the day, you are your own inner authority. And this entire process that we go through at the Black Magic Underground is all about reclaiming our internal authority. We are taking the power back from this external authority that tells us what we should and shouldn't do. And in modern religions, God has been put outside of ourselves, and it's our job to bring God back and remember that we are God, that we are a manifestation of source energy, and that our experience is ours for a reason. And so taking that authority from outside of ourselves and bringing it back and knowing that I am the highest authority of my own spiritual growth, my own personal journey, is what all of this is the foundation of. Reclaiming your inner authority and using your power to create the life that you are here to live, to be your most authentic expression. So there is no one way to do this. However you feel called to do it that way, okay? Oh my gosh, I love all these comments you got. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, somebody asked about the snakes talking to you. Yes, listen to them. They have a potent, powerful message for you. If you can get your snakes to talk to you and you can understand what they're saying. So for us, depending on how you connect, you might be more auditory, you might be more visual, you might be more in your feels, you might sense might be more your thing. So however you're experiencing this, it's perfect. And if your snakes are talking to you, if they're making any kind of sounds, any of that, listen to it. They have a message for you. And I oftentimes get that same thing, like it's words, and they are speaking to me, and they will say things like, breathe in deeper, like push through this, like expand on this, so sometimes it's our snakes telling us how to work this magic. And if you want to kind of learn more about how to work with these powers within you, next week's workshop, it's going to be at the same time, next Thursday, same time. We're going to talk about embodying the dark goddess and using the dark goddess as your guru, I guess, on your spiritual path. And that's a big thing that we're going to talk about, is like learning to listen to the voices in your head and not feel like you're a crazy Looney Tune. And this is part of it. So if your snakes are talking to you, listen, they have something to share with you. Imagine the snakes moving like DNA. That's a really beautiful way of putting it. It's that double helix, and it's doing, in the center of it is your main chakra system that runs up through your spine. So yeah, that's exactly how, they kind of do this swirling dance. Again, my fingers aren't that great of but they look like that. It's the Blue Cross Blue Shield caduceus, it's that is how they tend to move. Now, like I said, you might experience them completely different. So however you're experiencing them is perfect for you. So these are like somebody said, this is an otherworldly experience, and this is the journey into the great mystery. And if you enjoyed tonight's workshop, three things. The first one is, make sure that you have joined us at blackmagic_underground.com. If you're craving community, connection, and magic, this is your source. You'll get all the updates for when I go live and do these events and other workshops. We also have a private Telegram group. That's when you join blackmagic_underground.com. That's where you'll get the link to that group. We have fun conversations going on there every single day, from polyamory to magic to the dark goddess. Join us in there. The second thing is, every Thursday, we're going to start going live at 6 o'clock, talking about different topics that around the four ideas of sex magic, working with the dark goddess, kink as a spiritual practice, and leaping into the great mystery. So if you're interested in astrology or tarot or any of those, that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about the great mystery of things. So make sure to join us on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. Now, the third thing is so exciting. And Nada and I have been working together on a container that we can offer for people who want to take this work and go deeper with it. If you want to learn how to transmute some of the heavier energy into more potent, powerful energy that you can use to create into the world. If you want to clear some of those blockages, if you want to heal some of those past wounds, this is for you. If you want to just take a leap and get into deeper alignment with your authentic expression and source energy, this is for you. I'm talking to you, okay? So we have come together to create a 6-month one-on-one container for 10 people who want to really dive deep into this work. And we invite you to take a leap into the mystery where wherever you are at in your journey, we are going to meet you there and help you guide yourself through the next steps using your own natal chart. So we're going to use astrology as our map because you came into this world with your own codes for how to navigate this physical reality. So how astrology is used is as your energetic being came into a physical manifested reality, as you passed through the different vibrational layers of this universe, you were given unique codes, and it all spits you out into this physical manifested reality, and your birth date gives us those codes. So we can use astrology, and I connect this back to ancient Babylonian astrology, which is the furthest reach of the origins of astrology that we can tap into. And so we use your natal chart as our map, and then the tarot as your compass to help guide you along that journey. And we're going to focus in on what it is that you are working through over the 6 months, so that we can help you be your guide as you navigate the great mystery. We're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to hold space as you work through this. And we're going to use astrology as our map and tarot as our guide. And here's how it's going to work. So the first call that we get on, we're going to pull your natal chart, and we use sidereal astrology, which is more accurate. So if you think you know what your sign is, I invite you to think again. And we're going to dive into your chart and understand more fully the codes that you were given when you came into this earth. And then that's what we're going to talk about on the first call. And then your second call, we're going to pull your tarot spread to tap into the cards and the wisdom of your intuition, of your subconscious. We're going to go beyond the veil and pull back what we need to know in order to help you navigate the next few months on your journey. And then the third session, and then if you really liked the sound ceremony, this is for you. You are going to have a call with Nada, and you're going to get deep into your what your vibration is, and they're going to create a personalized sound transmission for you that you can tap into to help you realign to your authentic expression and to come into resonance with that source energy. And if you experience some really cool stuff on this sound transmission, imagine when you have your very own that is personally designed for you. So that's what the third call is. And then for the remainder of our time together, you'll get bi-weekly one-on-one calls, either with myself or with Nada, depending on what you're working through. We have different specialties. And you'll get bi-weekly calls with each of us, and then a monthly group healing session. So we'll come together as a group, the 10 people that are in the container. We're going to do a sound healing. There's going to be breath work and whatever other healing that is needed and called for from the group. We're going to come together as a group to do those healing sessions. And at the end of the 6 months, you will feel empowered to move on this journey in a way that feels really good for you. You're going to have clarity, you're going to feel more aligned, and you're going to really have the tools that you need in order to become more fully and authentically expressed. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in, I invite you to reach out to me at nadia@nadiablack.com. That's Nadia Black, BLACK.com, and say, I'm interested, please tell me more. Now, because we do not want money to be a barrier for anybody, we are also opening up 2 work trade spots for this opportunity, and we are specifically looking for people who can help us with kind of the admin marketing stuff for the Black Magic Underground, so setting up opt-in pages and things like that. If that's your specialty, we would love to do a work trade. And if you are local to Albuquerque or Santa Fe, we're also looking for a body work trade. So if that it fits into what you can offer in a work trade. We want to make that happen as well, because we are here to grow the Black Magic Underground. I really do want to take over the world with magic, and I want to see the world created that the vision I have in my brain, I want to see it out in the world, and we have to do this together. So if this sounds like an opportunity for you, reach out to me, Nadia at nadiablack.com. We've got a really delicious discount for the first 3 people that say yes to this container. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us on today's call. I've got a couple more questions. I'll open this up for a few minutes to some questions, whether it's about the program that we're offering, or if it's about sex magic or your experience. I am happy to answer those questions. I could talk about this for literally hours and hours and hours and hours. So, but I'm gonna limit the comments to like 10, or the questions to like 10 minutes, just because I'm really hot and I need to go sit in a nice bath. But ask the questions, and I love connecting with you. All right, so I'm gonna tap. If you see me jumping back and forth with where I'm looking, if you weren't here at the beginning of the call, we are actually going live both on YouTube. Hello. This is my YouTube stream, and Facebook. Hello. This is my Facebook stream. So the only way we kind of last minute figured out how to do this was to have 2 different monitors going. So if you see me kind of like playing table tennis here with my head, that's what's going on. And I've got my comments up on this computer. All right. Oh, yes, I'd be happy to repeat my email once more, and I'll also drop it in the comments here. So it's Nadia, Nadia, at nadiablack.com. Everything is spelled exactly how you think it is. So Nadia is Nadia. It means hope, the bringer of hope specifically. So I'm the bringer of hope in the darkness. It was the name that I was given about 5 years now, as I really was embarking on my dark night of the soul. The universe came in and said, your name is no longer Stacy. That's my birth name. And I was given the name Nadia. So Nadia is bringer of hope. So I'm the bringer of hope in the darkness, spelled just like you think it's spelled. All right, let's tap into some question here. Do you have any activities or exercises to transmute and or harness sexual energy? Yes. Yes, I do. So as you're working with these snakes, when you get to the point where you're ready to start like shifting the energy, like using that energy, you're not just here to like notice what the snakes are doing. You actually want to start to like transmute some of the blocked, constricted energy. What you're gonna do, one way to do this, and again, so many ways to do this. I'm gonna give you one method here. Try it, see if you like it, and if you don't, I'll give you a refund on tonight's class. So what you're gonna do, as you feel the snakes dancing up through your body, or as you feel the energy moving, what you're gonna do is in those places that you feel the block, in the places that it feels dark or sticky or contracted, however you feel it, we're gonna breathe into those places. And we're gonna bring, where our awareness goes, energy flows. So you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna put it in that place. Now, fun thing, you might start to feel this blocked energy other places in your body outside of your core, outside of, you know, where the snakes are dancing. You might feel blocked energy in your right ankle. That's often where I felt it, because when I was a little kid, I broke my energy, but broke my ankle, and I did it in a way that, because I wasn't supposed to be wearing my sister Steve Madden platform shoes, and I was doing a Spice Girls kick, and I fell, and I like really twisted that ankle, and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to get in trouble. And so I hold a lot of trapped energy in that right ankle. So as I do some of this sex magic stuff or working with this energy, I will feel that trapped energy in that right ankle. So if you're starting to feel energy that's stuck or sticky, trapped, constricted outside of that main core place, pay attention to it. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna put it in the place where you feel the stuck energy, and you're simply going to breathe. And as you breathe, we're going to bring our awareness into that place, and we're going to send it love energy. Now, I will say this, for those of you who might have had a more troublesome childhood and have not gotten to the place where love is a fun feeling for you, if it still feels unsafe to feel love, then what you're going to do is we're going to bypass that and we're just going to send light. If that feels hard, we're just going to keep our breath there. So you can work with wherever you're at. We're not judging where you're at. We're simply aware of where you are, and we're going to use the tools to get you to the next place, okay? So you can put your hands, breathe, and just bring in love or light or simply awareness into that place. And what you're going to feel is it's going to start to lighten up. It's going to start to break up, and it's going to start to release. Now, another thing, if you want to bring in more touch, you can start to massage that area gently, lightly, bringing in the massage and feel that energy release. Okay, so we're just working on getting that energy flowing again, and it might take a few sessions in order to do that, because what we have to do is first we have to cleanse the vessel, clear the vessel of any stuck, stagnant, blocked energy, and then we can really start to push some powerful energy through us. But the first step is to cleanse and clear and prepare the vessel for sex magic. And that's why on this workshop, I didn't give you the ritual. We didn't jump right into it, because there is a first step, and this first step often gets skipped when talking about sex magic. And it's so important, because if we just power through and start running massive amounts of life force energy through us when our vessel isn't ready, that's when we start to get what is called the new age people have a word for ascension flu. And so words for are like ascension flu. You might just start to feel yucky, icky, heavy, that sort of thing, because we're trying to push a ton of life force energy through us, and our vessel isn't prepared to contain all of that energy. And so our vessel actually goes, ah, please stop. Because remember, we're working in an energetic sense, but it affects our physical body, and we need to make sure our physical body and our energetic bodies are prepared for the work that we're going to do. So this is step one. Start working here. Now, for some of you, you might be ready for step two, and we'll start talking about that as we jump into these topics a little bit more. But for most people, step one is where you're going to be, and that's how you can start to transmute some of this energy. Really, really, really good question. All right, I love that. Oh, these comments are so juicy. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. All right, the soundtrack you played, would love to listen again sometime. Name of artist or link to source. So the artist is Nada Brahmananda, and they are my co-creator at the moment at the Black Magic Underground. So the sound transmission, sound healing, they are a powerful shaman and a powerful sound healer. That is their original music. It's their sex magic transmission for tonight's workshop. So this was created specifically for you. They brought in the codes and transmitted them out through the sound just for tonight's call. So that is who it is. And if you loved their work, make sure to connect with them. And you can come back to this particular sound transmission in this workshop wherever you watched it. It'll be live on, or it'll still be up on YouTube or Facebook, so you can come back and listen to it. And as we do more of these workshops, they will continue to make these sound transmissions for us. And again, if you are called to do this work, you want to go deeper and you're ready for a one-on-one experience, that's what the Leap into the Mystery program is about, and they are the sound healer for that program. So every single month you'll get a sound healing session as a group, and then your third session will actually be with Nada, where they will create a personalized sound transmission just for you, so that you can come into resonance both with your own authentic expression and with source energy. They're just incredibly talented musician. And if you're local to Albuquerque, we're gonna start doing sound ceremonies. And if you're in Wichita, I have heard some rumors that they might be making a little stop in Wichita, which actually, fun fact, I'm also from Kansas. So Nada is from Kansas and I'm from Kansas, but we didn't meet until I had moved to Albuquerque and came back to Kansas because my mom died. So that's how we came to be connected. Oh yeah, and Nada just commented, so you can click on their profile. All right. So thank you so much. Oh, I said I'd do it for 10 minutes, and we've been doing it for 10 minutes. And yes, best way to cleanse the vessel. I love sound healing as a vessel clearing experience. Now, other ways to clear the vessel. The food that you eat, cleansing the physical vessel, the food you eat, the music that you listen to, the company that you keep, all of these things are ways to cleanse and clear the vessel even further. So thank you so much for joining us. It is an absolute honor to share this magic with you, and I hope that you join us at blackmagic_underground.com so that you'll get notified of the next time that we go live. Like I said, next week we're going to talk about the Dark Goddess and embodying the Dark Goddess, and also using the Dark Goddess as a guide on your spiritual journey. Right now, I don't know if you feel it, but the Dark Goddess is just like pouring through the collective, and working with that energy instead of fighting it is the best way to kind of move through this current energetic landscape. So we're going to talk a lot about the Dark Goddess, and as we talk more about that, we're also going to start talking about dark gods, because we need to bring in that energy too. So if you feel connected to the Dark Goddess, then I also invite you to start learning more about the Dark God. And Dark Goddess isn't just for people who identify with the feminine. It is something that everyone can use and embody in order to expand your experience here on this planet. So I'm excited for that one. Same time next week, 6 o'clock Mountain Time on Thursday. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been amazing, and I will see you next week.